Hello and welcome to what will be a very quick Pandas FAQ tutorial where we cover how to save multiple data frames to a single Excel file. Generally speaking, we can break this down into 4 steps. We need to declare our data, we set a writer object, we save each data frame individually, and then we close the file. The first thing we need to start by doing is importing the modules that we need. And if I run this cell, we can import pandas as PD. The second thing that we need to do is to declare our data. The data that we used in our pandas FAQ series is this Brent crude price data set, which you can find in our GitHub, the link for which will be in the description. If I use the head method to show that this is imported correctly, you can see that what we have is a data frame with 6 columns. And at the moment we're showing 5 rows. Just going back to those steps, we've declared our data. The next thing we need to do is to define our writer object. And we do this by defining our writer variable, which is going to be an pandas Excel writer object. If we define pandas Excel writer, and in the arguments here, what we're doing is defining our file name. And I'm going to call this masterfile.xlsx. And if we want to see what kind of object we're dealing with, we can use the type function input writer. And when we run this cell, we can see that we have a pandas OpenPy Excel writer object just here. So we've defined our writer object, but what data frames are we going to save to our master Excel file? Well, we have one data set, which we've imported, which is our Brent crude data. So we're going to replicate this and save it to a list. Let's define our list of data frames, which will be df list. And we're going to create this list by creating a generator. If we do our list is equal to dfmaster.head, which gives us the first 5 rows as our data frame, for underscore in range 3. And what this is going to do, if I print out our list object, is return a list of length 3, where each object in our list is a dfmaster.head object. Now that we have our list, what we're going to do is iterate through a loop. And each time we iterate through our loop, we're going to save one of these respective data frames to our file with a different sheet name. And we're going to set our first sheet number equal to 1. And then we create our loop. We're going to create for df in ds underscore df list. And each time we iterate through the list, we're going to save the data frame as a different sheet. We do this using the toExcel method. We declare df.toExcel. And this is where we use this writer object that we declared earlier. And all we need to do now is set our sheet name. And we can do this using string formatting. If we prefix our string with f and call our sheet underscore curly brackets sheet it, this is going to set our sheet name equal to sheet 1. And then all we have to do is add 1 to our sheet int variable each time we pass through this list. And we can do this by adding 1. Now, if I go ahead and run this cell, what this is going to do is save each of our data frames as a separate sheet in our file. And then the final step in our process is that we just have to close our writer object. And we can do this by writing writer.save and finally writer.close. And what you'll be left with is a file, masterfile.xlsx, in which you have 3 sheets of Brent crude price data. And it's as simple as that. That's it for this Pandas FAQ lesson. If you have any remarks, observations, or any burning Python or Pandas questions, be sure to leave them in the comments and we'll pick out the most upvoted or most interesting for future videos. Thanks for watching.